Chosen one. Pause for a moment. Before another thought rushes into your mind, before your day tries to pull you back into routine, let your spirit settle into this moment. Because what you are stepping into right now is not ordinary. It is not coincidence. It is not some passing curiosity. This is a divine plot twist unfolding in real time. A moment heaven engineered long before your eyes ever saw it coming. Some love stories walk into your life gently. Others arrive with thunder in their footsteps. But the one heading toward you now, it doesn't walk. It breaks in, like destiny itself has been pacing outside your door, waiting for the exact second God whispered, "Now." What's about to unfold in your love life will confuse people who thought they knew you, shame those who underestimated you, and silence every voice that claimed to predict your future. Because this next chapter doesn't follow logic, patterns, or preference. It follows prophetic alignment. You are entering a season where your heart will recognize something your mind wasn't ready to understand until now. Psychologists say the strongest, rarest connections begin before the mind catches up, when the nervous system responds to someone as if they've always belonged in your story. That's the plot twist you're stepping into, a bond your soul has been preparing for in silence. And here's the part most people won't grasp. You didn't stumble into this moment. You were summoned. You didn't arrive here because you're lonely, impatient, or searching. You arrived because heaven pressed pause on your path and redirected you into alignment. Think back over the last few months. The closures, the endings, the strange peace after upheaval, the sudden clarity that didn't make sense. Those weren't coincidences. They were repositionings, divine edits in your timeline to make room for what was always meant to find you. And now, destiny is stepping out from behind the curtain. Your next relationship won't simply surprise you. It will redefine you. It will expand your vision, soften your heart, sharpen your intuition, and confirm every spiritual instinct you tried to ignore. It will feel both foreign and familiar, like meeting someone for the first time and remembering them all at once. People will stare. Exes will question. Friends will whisper. And you'll stand in quiet awe because deep down you knew something ancient was shifting. This isn't luck. This isn't chance. This is the divine plot twist your story has been preparing for. And it begins now. Chosen one. If you could see what has been happening behind the scenes of your life, you would drop to your knees in awe. Because while you were healing, stretching, rebuilding, and questioning your own strength, something else, something far bigger, was happening quietly in the background. Your timelines were synchronizing. People think love arrives through luck or coincidence, but destiny is not clumsy. It is calculated. It is precise. It is a divine equation written across the chapters of your life long before you became aware of it. Every delay, every heartbreak, every unexpected ending, none of it was random. All of it was alignment. Your next relationship wasn't allowed to show up during your wounded season. If it had, you would have misinterpreted their intentions, projected old pain onto new love, or settled for something beneath your spiritual rank. And they, your future partner, weren't allowed to enter with fractured intentions or unresolved shadows. Their healing had to catch up to your growth. Their maturity had to match your clarity. Their destiny had to align with your ascension. So the universe slowed them down, redirected them, paused them, not to punish them, but to prepare them. The same thing happened to you. Doors closed, not because you were unworthy, but because you were being rerouted toward the version of yourself required for this next level of connection. People exited not because you lacked love, but because your heart needed space. Opportunities vanished because your timeline needed adjusting. You didn't fail. You were being synchronized. And here's the part that will shake you. While you were going through lessons that refined your character, they were going through parallel lessons, mirrored growth, mirrored awakenings, mirrored endings. You think your heartbreak was accidental? It wasn't. It was timed perfectly with theirs. You think your season of solitude was random? No. It was a divine pause to make sure your spirits were rising at the same pace. Destiny refused to introduce you two prematurely. Have you noticed it recently? The feeling that something is shifting, the strange calm, the sudden clarity in your decisions, the way your spirit seems more grounded, more ready, more open. That's not emotion. That's synchronization. You are entering the thin place, the narrow corridor where two timelines merge into one. The universe, heaven, spirit, whatever name you choose, has been orchestrating a convergence, a collision of destinies, a meeting so precise that it could only unfold after both of you survived your storms and reclaimed your identity. This coming connection will feel supernatural, because it is. You will meet them and feel like no time has been wasted, because destiny compensated for every delay. You will recognize them without needing to explain anything, because both of you were shaped by parallel fires. You will feel the alignment before you understand it, because your timelines have finally locked into place. Chosen one, this isn't coincidence. It's divine synchronization. Your paths are no longer running separately. They're converging. Right now. Chosen one. There is something you don't know yet. Something that will completely change how you see the person entering your life. Because while you've been walking through storms, rebuilding yourself, and rising from places that should have buried you, someone has been watching. Quietly, respectfully, intentionally. Your next partner didn't fall into your life by accident. They didn't wake up one day and suddenly notice you. No, this is someone who has been observing your journey for years, long before you ever imagined them stepping into your story. Not in a creepy or invasive way, no. They watched you the way someone admires a sunrise, from a respectful distance, with awe, with reverence, with an understanding that something rare was unfolding. They saw things most people overlooked. They saw the strength behind your silence. They saw the resilience in the way you rose after disappointments. They saw the moments you gave kindness, even when you were hurting. They saw the way you kept your heart soft after being betrayed. They saw the way you forgave, healed, grew, adapted, and kept moving, even when life tried to pull you under. They watched you navigate storms with a kind of grace they didn't understand at the time. And every moment they observed you, something in them whispered, "This person is different." But here's the truth they never admitted. Not to themselves, not to anyone. They didn't approach you earlier because they weren't ready. Not spiritually, not emotionally, not mentally, not even practically. They admired the depth of your character, but felt they needed to grow into someone worthy of you before they stepped forward. They had shadows to confront, immaturities to outgrow, wounds to heal, patterns to break, and lessons to learn. They weren't running from you. They were running toward the version of themselves who could meet you as an equal, not a burden. And you know what's remarkable? They didn't just watch your victories. They watched your process. They noticed the things that made you you. The way you keep going, even when exhausted. the way you choose compassion over ego, the way you speak truth with softness and authority at the same time, the way you carry yourself with dignity even when misunderstood, the way your spirit remains authentic in a world begging you to change. They didn't fall in love with the polished version of you. They fell in love with your becoming. Now, after all this time of watching from afar, learning, growing, preparing, they're finally stepping into your life. Not because they're infatuated, not because they're lonely, but because they recognize your worth on a level deeper than the surface. To them, you are not a mystery. They've been studying your spirit. You are not a surprise. They've watched your evolution. You are not a coincidence. They've been waiting for the exact moment destiny whispered, "Go now." Chosen one. Your next relationship isn't built on chance. It's built on intention, years of it. Someone has been observing your journey, and now they're stepping into your story. Chosen one. One of the greatest shifts in your next relationship is this. They are not coming into your life to fix you. They are coming to match you. For years, you carried the weight of relationships where you had to be the strong one, the patient one, the healer, the motivator, the one who understood everything and asked for nothing. You got used to being the emotional anchor while others drifted. You became the problem solver while others created the storms. You poured yourself into people who didn't have the capacity to pour anything back. But this next connection is not another rescue mission. It is a meeting of equals. This person shows up with their own sense of identity, stability, healing, and self-awareness. They have done the inner work, the hard work, that most people avoid. They've confronted their insecurities, broken their cycles, faced their shadows, and learned how to carry themselves with emotional maturity. They're not intimidated by your strength. They're not threatened by your intelligence. They're not overshadowed by your purpose. They don't shrink in your light. They rise with you. Instead of needing your wisdom, they bring their own. Instead of leaning on your strength, they stand tall beside you. Instead of draining your energy, they contribute to it. Instead of expecting you to fix their brokenness, they arrive already whole. This is the first time you won't feel like you're carrying someone. You'll feel partnered, supported, matched. They understand themselves deeply enough to understand you. They honor their emotions enough to honor yours. They respect their boundaries, so they naturally respect yours. They value peace, so they won't bring unnecessary chaos into your life. This person doesn't look at you as a savior. They see you as an equal, someone to build with, not lean on. What makes this connection powerful is that it removes a pressure you've carried for years, the pressure to choose between being loved and being yourself. With them, you can be strong without being punished for it. You can be soft without being taken advantage of. You can be ambitious without being resented. You can be vulnerable without being judged. You are no longer the healer patching up someone else's wounds. You're no longer the anchor holding everything together alone. This time, you are met, fully, completely, beautifully met. Chosen one. Your next relationship is not where you fix someone. It is where someone finally matches the level you've been rising to all along. Chosen one. Your next relationship won't begin with confusion, guessing, or emotional turbulence. It will begin with something far more ancient, rare, and unmistakable: soul recognition. This is not the kind of love that tiptoes into your life quietly. It arrives with a familiarity that feels impossible to explain. It feels like remembering someone you've never met. When your eyes land on this person, something inside you will shift. Silently, instantly, profoundly. Not in a dramatic love-at-first-sight fantasy, but in a deep spiritual sense that whispers, "I know you. I've met your spirit before. I've been waiting for you." This connection will bypass logic and land directly in your intuition. Your spirit will identify the bond long before your mind can process it. And here's why. Both of you have survived experiences that rewired your souls. Both of you have walked through fire and emerged wiser, softer, stronger. Both of you have scars that shaped your vision, your boundaries, your faith. Both of you had to lose everything you thought love was so you could be ready for what love actually is. It is the survival itself, the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the rebuilding that creates the recognition. Only someone who has endured similar storms can understand the weight you carry and the strength required to still stand. When your paths cross, you won't need to explain your pain. You won't need to justify your intuition. You won't need to hide your depth. They will see it immediately, because they've lived it too. Your shared wounds become shared wisdom. Your shared silence becomes shared understanding. Your shared endurance becomes shared alignment. This connection will feel calm, even when it is intense. It will feel grounding, even when it is powerful. It will feel destined, even when it is unexpected. People around you may not understand the bond. They may question it, judge it, or underestimate it. But your soul won't, and neither will theirs. This person won't be impressed by your image. They'll be moved by your essence. They won't be drawn to your potential alone. They'll recognize the journey that created it. They won't love the polished version of you. They'll love the version forged by resilience, faith, and fire. Soul recognition is not about chemistry. It is about alignment. It is the meeting of two survivors who rebuilt themselves into clarity. And when your eyes meet theirs, you will understand why every heartbreak had to happen, why every delay was necessary, and why every closed door was divine protection. Chosen one. When this person steps into your life, your soul will recognize them instantly, because in another lifetime, another season, another unseen realm, your spirits already met. Chosen one. Your next relationship will shock you in a way you never expected, not because it feels wrong, but because it feels too right to match anything you once imagined for yourself. This person will not fit your old type. In fact, they may challenge everything you thought you wanted, and yet they will be exactly what your soul has been quietly preparing for all along. Your old type was built from wounds, fantasies, survival patterns, childhood conditioning, and the version of yourself that no longer exists. It was shaped by who you were before the trauma broke you open, before healing rewired your spirit, and before you stepped into the highest version of yourself. But destiny doesn't choose based on your comfort zone. Destiny chooses based on your calling, your evolution, your future. This next person enters your life with qualities you never knew to ask for, because you didn't know you needed them until now. They won't match the predictable patterns of your past, and that's precisely why this relationship will be different, because it's not repeating the old story. Maybe they're quieter than your past partners, but their calm brings safety. Maybe they're more grounded, but their stability grants you peace. Maybe they're more direct, but their honesty frees you from guessing. Maybe they're more spiritual, more introspective, more emotionally aware than anyone you've known. Or maybe they're the opposite. Someone who balances your intensity with laughter, spontaneity, and a softness your soul secretly craved. Your heart will feel something your preferences never could. Alignment. This connection doesn't appeal to your ego. It awakens your spirit. It doesn't stimulate your fears. It expands your future. It doesn't trigger your wounds. It soothes them. Your old type wanted excitement. Your healed spirit wants peace, growth, reciprocity, vision. And destiny is sending someone who embodies exactly that. This is the person who understands the version of you that emerged from the fire, not the version who entered it. Someone who sees your depth not as a burden, but as beauty. Someone whose presence doesn't drain you, distract you, or dismantle you, but instead strengthens your path and sharpens your purpose. People around you may not understand the match. They'll say you changed. They'll say you surprised them. They'll say they never expected you to choose someone like that. And you'll simply smile because you'll realize the truth. You didn't choose from trauma anymore. You didn't choose from loneliness. You didn't choose from fantasy. You chose from alignment, maturity, clarity, and destiny. Chosen one. This next connection will shock your mind, silence your past, and satisfy your spirit, because it's not your old type. It's your true match. Chosen one. When this next person enters your life, something extraordinary will happen, something subtle, shocking, and deeply healing all at once. Their presence will illuminate a truth you've carried for years without even realizing it. You have been emotionally malnourished your entire life. Not because you were weak, not because you were unlovable, but because you became accustomed to surviving on the bare minimum while calling it love. You learned to accept crumbs. You learned to celebrate inconsistency. You learned to normalize chaos. You learned to forgive what should have never happened. You learned to stay silent when your heart was starving. You told yourself you were being patient. You told yourself you were being understanding. You told yourself that one day someone would finally choose you with the same intensity you chose them. But the truth is, you were adapting to emotional scarcity. Then suddenly, this person enters. They don't bring confusion. They bring clarity. They don't bring anxiety. They bring steadiness. They don't make you guess. They show you directly. And in that contrast, everything you tolerated becomes painfully clear. Where others were inconsistent, this person is dependable. Where others were vague, this person is intentional. Where others pulled away, this person leans in without hesitation. Where others made you earn affection, this person gives it freely. Where others made you question your worth, this person affirms it effortlessly. Their presence becomes a mirror, not reflecting your flaws, but revealing how much you've survived emotionally, just to feel normal. You realize you weren't hard to love. You were loving the wrong people. And that revelation is both beautiful and heartbreaking. In past relationships, you thought your expectations were too high. You thought your needs were too much. You thought your emotions were overwhelming. You thought your standards were unreasonable. But the moment someone shows up with genuine emotional intelligence, the moment someone responds instead of reacts, listens instead of dismisses, stays instead of abandons, you finally understand. The issue was never your standards. The issue was the environments that pressured you to lower them. This relationship will feel like opening a window in a room you didn't realize had been suffocating you. Their consistency will feel surreal at first, almost suspicious, because your nervous system isn't used to peace. Your heart isn't used to reciprocity. Your mind isn't used to stability. But slowly, beautifully, your spirit will adjust. You will learn what it feels like to be emotionally nourished. You will learn what it feels like to be considered, not tolerated. You will learn what it feels like to be valued, not used. You will learn what it feels like to be chosen, not chased. You will learn what it feels like to rest, not perform. And the most shocking part? People who knew the old you will barely recognize the loved you. Because emotional safety doesn't just change your relationships, it changes your posture, your confidence, your voice, your aura. Chosen one. Your next partner won't just love you. They will reveal how starved you were and how deeply you were always meant to be filled. Chosen one. Before this person enters your life in the physical, something sacred happens first in the spiritual. Your spirit becomes quiet, not empty, not numb, not detached, but quiet in a way that feels unfamiliar yet deeply comforting. It's the kind of peace that doesn't make sense on paper. Nothing around you has dramatically changed. Your responsibilities are still there. Your uncertainties still exist. Life still moves in its usual rhythm. And yet, something inside you has shifted. Your mind is clearer. Your emotions feel lighter. Your heart feels less defensive. Your spirit feels strangely settled, like it knows something your eyes haven't seen yet. That peace is not random. It is preparation. It is heaven softening the ground before planting a divine seed. It is the universe untangling your atmosphere so that love can enter without resistance. It is God quieting everything inside you so you don't mistake a blessing for a burden. This upcoming connection doesn't storm into your life with chaos. It walks in with clarity. And long before their footsteps reach your world, your spirit senses the shift. You begin to detach from old attachments without forcing it. You feel disinterested in past cycles you once entertained. You stop craving distractions. You stop tolerating emotional noise. You find yourself craving stillness, rest, reflection, truth. Because that is the frequency of the person coming toward you. They don't bring confusion. They don't bring mixed signals. They don't bring emotional instability. They bring alignment, and your spirit always adjusts to alignment before your life does. You'll notice the signs. The anxiety you used to feel about love dissolves. The fear of choosing wrong no longer controls you. The desire to rush fades, because peace replaces urgency. The inner pressure to find someone disappears completely. You're not giving up. You're getting ready. This peace is a divine signal that your heart is no longer operating from wounds, survival, or scarcity. It's operating from clarity, and clarity is the doorway through which destiny walks in. When this person finally appears, it won't feel like a dramatic entrance. It will feel like something clicking into place. Like a breath you didn't realize you were holding finally releasing. Like the universe exhaling on your behalf. Others might see your calm and assume nothing is happening. But you'll know the truth. Peace always arrives before alignment. And alignment always arrives before destiny reveals itself. Chosen one. The peace you feel now is not an ending. It is the first quiet announcement that someone meant for your life is already on their way. Chosen one. One of the most astonishing things about your next relationship is how effortlessly your values and vision align with this person. Not because you try to match each other, not because you edit or dilute yourself, but because both of you have been shaped, individually, painfully, beautifully, into people who finally resonate at the same spiritual frequency. This alignment doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel negotiated. It doesn't feel like compromise. It feels natural. For the first time in your life, you will not have to explain why loyalty matters to you. You won't have to justify your boundaries, your ethics, your standards, or the purpose that drives you. You won't have to convince them of what you value. They will already carry the same principles within themselves. Your past relationships may have felt like constant tug-of-wars. One person dreaming, while the other stayed stagnant. One person giving, while the other only took. One person healing, while the other clung to dysfunction. But this time, it's different. This person approaches life the same way you do, with integrity, with purpose, with ambition, with self-awareness. Their maturity mirrors your own. Their growth reflects your journey. Their discipline matches your energy. This is someone who thinks deeply, feels intentionally, and moves with vision. Together, your values create a foundation that feels undeniably right. You both honor honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. You both believe in loyalty as a sacred commitment, not a convenience. You both understand the importance of emotional intelligence. You both want stability, not stagnation. You both desire connection, not attachment. You both prioritize growth, not perfection. What makes this alignment powerful is its effortlessness. There is no friction in your core beliefs, no fighting over the basics, no begging to be understood, no compromising your integrity to make the relationship function. Instead, your visions for the future begin to weave together seamlessly. Your goals don't compete, they complement. Your dreams don't clash, they expand. Your paths don't diverge, they converge. And people around you will notice. They'll say it looks too easy, too natural, too aligned to be coincidence. They'll wonder how you found someone who mirrors you so precisely. They'll assume you planned it, manifested it, orchestrated it. But the truth is simple. Alignment is what happens when two people grow in the same direction at the same time, even from different places. This is the first time you'll experience partnership without losing yourself, without shrinking, without pretending. This connection honors your evolution and supports your destiny, chosen one. Your next relationship doesn't just align with your heart. It aligns with your values, your vision, and your future. Chosen one. Everything you've experienced, survived, healed from, and risen above has been leading you to one sacred threshold. The awakening of your destiny through a relationship that amplifies, not diminishes, who you are. This love is not coming into your life to entertain you. It is coming to elevate you, to expand you, to activate parts of your spirit, mind, and purpose that have been dormant, waiting for the right frequency to unlock them. Your past relationships demanded survival. This one demands awakening. And that awakening begins the moment this person enters your atmosphere. You will feel it before you fully understand it. A shift, a stirring, a sense of, this is not ordinary, this is divine. This relationship will not operate through the wounds of your past. It will operate through the clarity of your growth. With them, you won't be performing. You won't be negotiating your worth. You won't be shrinking or softening or dimming yourself. Your soul will finally rest in its full expression, because they will see you and not just the surface version of you. They will see the depth, the calling, the mantle, the spiritual assignment that rests on your life. They won't be intimidated by your power. They'll understand the weight that power carries. They won't compete with your purpose. They'll align with it. They won't take from you. They'll contribute to you. And here is the most astonishing part. This relationship becomes the environment where your destiny reveals itself. Not because the person is your destiny, but because they activate what destiny placed inside you long ago. Your creativity rises, your confidence strengthens, your intuition sharpens, your gifts expand, your calling becomes clearer, your spiritual sensitivity heightens, your voice becomes bolder, your faith deepens. This is what happens when you are with someone who is aligned with your future, not your past. Their presence amplifies your divine identity. Your presence awakens their purpose. Together, your alignment creates movement in realms you can't yet see. This is why the relationship feels sacred, because it is. Every great destiny requires a great alignment. Every great purpose requires the right partnership. Every spiritual assignment requires someone who can hold the light with you, not dim it out of insecurity or fear. And destiny is sending you that person now. This is not a relationship based on trauma, fantasy, or desperation. It's built on maturity, clarity, reciprocity, and divine timing. You will look back and realize, if you had met too early, you wouldn't have recognized each other. If they had come during your broken season, you would have pushed them away. If you had crossed paths before healing, the connection would have collapsed under the weight of unspoken wounds. But now the timing is perfect. Now your spirits are ready. Now your hearts are steady. Now your futures are aligned. This relationship is the intersection of everything you've endured and everything you're becoming. It is the doorway into a version of your life that finally makes sense. A life where you are supported, not drained. Honored, not dismissed. Chosen, not overlooked. Seen, not misunderstood. People will notice the transformation. Some will be inspired. Some will be intimidated. Some will question how such a powerful alignment came so suddenly. But you will know the truth. It didn't come suddenly. It came divinely. It came after years of preparation, storms, awakenings, and spiritual refinement. Chosen one, your destiny is not just calling you. It is awakening in you, and this next relationship is the catalyst heaven will use to reveal the version of you that was always destined to rise.